is that the Browns are going to win the AFC North this year. And now that each team has 2 games left, the Browns are 1 game back as of now. They play the Jets and the Steelers next. And the Steelers have the Colts and the Browns next. Of course, that pivotal Browns-Steelers game is going to be Week 17. But Alex, buying or selling?
I am going to. What am I going to do? I'm going to sell the statement just on the odds, just because I think the Steelers have a better chance. But I think the Browns are not a significantly better team, but they're a better team right now. I think they're going to win that Week 17 matchup. But so wait, if they both win, what the Browns play the Jets next. So if they go undefeated, if they tie at the end of the year, but the Browns win that Week 17 match, who gets the division?
The Browns get the division, I believe. So
the Browns are going to win the division then. 100%.
I think the Browns are winning the division.
Buy this statement.
Thank you for changing your mind, Alex, because I said this on Twitter once again at Fourth Long Radio, where I said after the game that what's going to happen here is that not only we're not going to have to worry about a tie and all the BS that goes with it, Alex, because the Colts are going to drop 5 straight games to end the season. They're going to be one of the, I think, the only team ever to go 11-0, then lose the next 5, because they're going to lose to the Colts. The Colts are outright a better team than the Steelers this season and right now especially, and the Browns are going to win that game too. And the Browns, of course, like they said, they're going to beat the Steelers, and if they don't beat the Jets, I'm going to be extremely disappointed, because there's no way in hell lightning strikes twice, and that lightning being a Jets victory. So Alex, I am 100% all in on this statement. The biggest frauds, the worst 11-0 team of all time, is going to end the year on the 5-game losing streak, go limping into the playoffs, face a first-round elimination, and that is going to be courtesy of the Browns winning the division.
The Steelers suck. They're horrible.
Not good. And shout out to all those people that are calling the Steelers frauds when they were 11-0 and still undefeated. Hats off to you, because you got it right on the money. But keeping with the Browns, though, Alex, is going to this next statement that Kevin Stefanski is a lock for Coach of the Year, head coach of the Browns.
I'll buy this statement all day long. He's been so freaking good for this team. I mean, the way that they've changed the offense around to suit the actual talent that they have, and getting Freddie Kitchens out of there, getting his play calling out of there was the best thing they could have done in the offseason.
And the funny thing was, in that Giants-Browns game, you want to know who was calling the plays for the Giants?
Freddie Kitchens. Jason Garrett had COVID. 100%. It was awesome.
And we saw how well that turned out for them. Woo. You remember when people said Freddie Kitchens was the guy for the Browns, and I was not buying that whatsoever. Especially because we had players saying that Freddie Kitchens was one of the problems of that coaching staff too.
Yeah, I mean, he's been really good. I think again, back to his offensive philosophy, it suits this Browns team so much better than what Kitchens was doing for him last year. And, having that ground game, having that dual-headed, running game, and playing a lot more 12 personnel and getting 2 tight ends in there, moving the line of scrimmage incredibly well, getting a lot of play flow going, get Baker on the move, get him in play action. He's not a good quarterback unless he's playing in play action. He's got a good ground game. So I love what they're doing. Yes, Stefanski is going to be the lock for the coach of the year, because I think Tomlin's out. I think the only other competition he really has is maybe Brian Flores. But I see Stefanski winning this, and I see it going away.
Yeah. Right now, like you said, it's between Flores and Stefanski. And the problem here is that Flores might not even be making the playoffs.
That's the big thing.
Especially because we talked about this last week, but the Ravens essentially have to win out, and the Dolphins essentially have to lose one of their games, which is likely. I mean, looking into this, that was the most likely scenario. So the Dolphins are at risk not making the playoffs, not because they don't deserve to, but just because that's the way the 7th seed is going down this year. And he has a phenomenal team. He could very well win next year, but it depends. If the Browns are able to win this division, like I 100% believe they are, if they're able to make a playoff run, which what I 100% believe they're going to be able to do, then he's a lock, and it's close. But, and like you said, Mike Tomlin should not be. I mean, it sucks because I think Mike Tomlin might be one of the most underrated coaches of all time, especially what he did with that Steelers team last year. But he's really just making it hard to make the argument now. I mean,
Are we overlooking Andy Reid for this, or Sean McDermott?
technically we're overlooking Andy Reid, but at the same time, we kind of expect the Chiefs to be here.
But how about McDermott? What if McDermott brings that team to 13-3, wins the division, gets the 2 seed?
I think Stefanski still wins this because you got to look at.
I think so too.
What
but
do
it's
we
close.
expect the least from? I would say I expected more from the Bills than I did the Browns, which is why I believe the coach of the year goes to the head coach of the most surprising team of the season. And like 9 times out of 10, I'll argue that's the Browns with this. But to your point, it's still close. So close.